I cold call for a living. I guess you could call me a professional solicitor, telemarketer, outbound hunter, whatever you want to call it. I'm not calling consumers. I'm not calling landlines, families trying to scam me, sell them insurance or these other B2C business consumer travel packages or knocking on doors. None of that. That's lower level sales. I'm doing B2B, high ticket enterprise software sales. In some cases, the deals are worth $100,000 plus, and this is annual recurring revenue. So when I make the call, I need to really know what I'm saying. And I want to talk about that dynamic today as someone that quite literally puts food on their desk. Don't have any tables here, just professional desks. That's where I eat and make cold calls. As someone who needs to be able to call strangers out of the blue and convince them to take time out of their busy day to meet with me, how does that work? So I think the first thing that comes to mind is that action expresses priority. So if you're in sales, pipeline is the lifeblood of your business. If you do not have deals to work, then you will never generate revenue. If you do not generate revenue, you will get put on a performance plan, or you'll decide that sales isn't for you beforehand, and then you'll switch to marketing or go do something that has less pressure. There's a lot of pressure in sales. There's pressure to perform because your compensation is tied to your performance and your numbers are black and white. At the end of the quarter, it's binary. You hit quota or you fail to hit quota. You can easily quantify that number. That's what creates the pressure. That's why it's not for everyone, but that's why it's great. And that's the opportunities because not everyone can do it. The actions you take express your priority. If your priority is success, if your priority is making money, if your priority is helping businesses be more successful in solving problems, then your actions will follow the priority. So, what actions are you going to be taking? You're going to be making cold calls. Who do you call? What do you say? You have all of these different companies you can go after. Some companies are larger and more complex. They have more budget. Other companies are smaller and less complex. Even though the deals are smaller, they'll probably be harder to work with. So bigger is always better. And it takes the same amount of time to call the big companies as it does the small companies. And at any given moment, you're one call away from changing your entire career. Keep that in mind. When you're calling and no one's picking up the phone, it hurts. When you call and they pick up the phone and they're rude to you, it hurts even more. When you eventually do set a meeting, it feels great. And it doesn't offset that pain, but you keep going anyway. It's all about identifying who are the right buyer personas in the right accounts, and how can you call them with professional persistence, and when they answer the phone, how can you string together words that they love, that excites them, that sparks their curiosity, where they say, that's an interesting idea. That person understands. That person has value to offer me. Yes, I'll be willing to take time out of my busy day to listen to you, because on that meeting, I'm coming across as a consultant. I'm coming across as a thought leader, as someone who really knows the industry, the problems, how customers benefit, the results. That is what it's all about. As someone who cold calls for a living, you gotta know what you're talking about, and you gotta be willing to pick up the phone, stare down the barrel of rejection. You are literally paid to be told no. I was thinking today that I've had no inbound meetings come in the month of September. And I told my manager at the end, I was like, I can't bring this up because it's going to come across as complaining. But I was like, can you just look into this? I haven't had any inbound meetings come across. I'm not complaining. I've got a good outbound flow. Most of my deals I'm working are outbound. And then in that moment, I was like, you allowed your weakness and fear to take over. And in a way, it was complaining. So I had to make this video to reemphasize to myself that my ability to be successful is totally in my control. And it's totally dictated by my actions, by making more calls. I need to find more of the right people to call. I need to call them more. I need to share more of the right talk tracks that will increase my odds of actually setting the meeting so that I can set more meetings, have more pipeline coverage, and increase my odds of hitting quota, making money, being successful, promoting to the next level, rinsing and repeating that process for the next 40 years until I retire, and then I'll still be making cold call videos when I'm 70 years old. All right, so that's all I had to talk about here today. What it takes to cold call for a living inside the mind of a professional cold caller. If you'd like to see part 2 to this video, psychology of cold calling maybe, or objections or rejections, something along those lines, let me know in the comments down below. I read and respond to every single comment. So if you've got something unkind or kind to say, please do let me know.